The 1930s. People died simply because pieces of paper became worthless overnight. This wasn't an economy collapsing, it was the collapse of the collective mind. How much power do we give money? And when that power vanishes, is fear our true master? Right now, while you're watching this, something is happening that will change your life forever. And most people have absolutely no idea. In the dark corners of history, money has always been a tool of control. It's not just a medium of exchange, it's a psychological weapon. In the Roman Empire, leaders played a cruel game with public trust. They called it debasement, subtly reducing the precious metal content in coins. Year after year, the citizens held the same coins, but each one was worth less. Their wealth evaporated in their hands, and they never saw it coming. Modern psychology has revealed something chilling. The pain of financial loss registers in our brains twice as intensely as the pleasure of financial gain. We're wired to fear losing money more than we desire gaining it. This asymmetry isn't a flaw, it's a feature. Those who understand this control everyone else. Financial markets don't operate like a casino. They operate like a mass hallucination. When everyone believes something is valuable, it becomes valuable. When that belief shatters, fortunes disappear into thin air. This is herd mentality, the invisible force that moves billions of dollars every single day. Psychology tells us we follow the crowd, even when it's heading for a cliff. We can't help ourselves. It's hardwired into our survival instincts. If everyone's running, you run too. You ask questions later. This is the mechanism through which elites have controlled the masses for centuries. They don't need armies or chains, they just need to control the narrative, control belief, control fear. And the pattern repeats. Boom, bust. Boom, bust. Each time the same people profit while the masses lose everything, because the masses are playing a game they don't even know exists.
For the past 50 years, the US dollar has been the world's reserve currency. When countries trade with each other, they do it in dollars. This system, established in 1971 when Nixon took us off the gold standard, gave America an incredible advantage. We could print as much money as we wanted because there was always demand for dollars. It was the greatest economic privilege in history, but that privilege requires trust. And over the past 2 decades, that trust has been eroding. And then trust breaks. September 15th, 2008. Lehman Brothers, one of the world's largest investment banks, collapsed overnight. But this wasn't just a financial event. It was a psychological breakdown on a global scale. That moment when people collectively wake up and realize the emperor has no clothes. The money they thought was safe, gone. The investments they trusted, worthless. The system they believed in, a lie. When faith dies, markets die. And when markets die, people lose everything, not just their savings, but their sense of reality itself. The 2008 crisis revealed the terrible truth. Our entire economic system runs on collective belief, and that belief can vanish in an instant. According to the IMF, the dollar's share of global foreign exchange reserves has fallen from 71% in 1999 to under 59% today. That's a massive decline, and it's accelerating. While most Americans were distracted by political theater, something shifted in the world of international finance. Major powers began coordinating a systematic exit from the dollar system. Not publicly, not announced, through back channels, intermediaries, and networks most people don't even know exist. China has been building alliances. The BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, represent over 40% of the world's population, and they're all working together to create an alternative to the dollar system. Saudi Arabia, the country that made the petrodollar possible, now sells oil in multiple currencies. That's the foundational pillar of dollar dominance cracking. The consequences of that day left deep scars on our collective soul. Today, we are living with that trauma. Wealth inequality has reached levels not seen since the Gilded Age. The top 1% controls more wealth than the bottom 90% combined. But this isn't just about numbers in a bank account. It's about the erosion of the social fabric itself. People have become disconnected from the system. They don't believe it anymore. They can't. The promise was broken. Work hard, save your money, and you'll be rewarded. That contract is dead. An entire generation graduated into a broken economy. They'll never own homes like their parents did. They'll never retire with dignity. The ladder was pulled up. Let me paint you a picture of what happens when the dollar loses reserve currency status. First, interest rates will skyrocket. Your mortgage rate goes from 7% to 15%. Your car loan doubles. The housing market collapses because nobody can afford the payments. Second, inflation goes into overdrive. All those dollars held overseas come flooding back to America. Your groceries could double in price every few months. Your life savings could lose half its value in a year. This is hyperinflation, and it destroys societies. Third, America's standard of living will plummet. We import more than we export. When the dollar is no longer the reserve currency, that party ends. Everything costs dramatically more while wages stagnate or fall.
History teaches us a terrible lesson, if we're brave enough to hear it. Money is not your master. It's a blindfold. The real power doesn't lie in accumulating wealth. It lies in understanding what's behind it. Human psychology, fear, greed, herd mentality. These are the forces that move trillions of dollars. Once you see the game, you can't unsee it. But here's where it gets darker. The system isn't broken, it's working exactly as designed. Every crash, every bailout, every transfer of wealth from bottom to top follows a pattern so predictable you could set your watch by it. The wealthy don't just survive these collapses, they engineer them. They short the market before it falls. They buy assets for pennies when everyone else is desperate. While the masses panic and sell up a bottom, the elite are quietly accumulating. This is why financial literacy isn't taught in schools. An educated population wouldn't fall for the same tricks generation after generation. Consider this: every major currency in history has eventually failed. Every single one. The dollar, the euro, the yen, they're all on borrowed time, sustained only by collective belief and government force. We're living in the longest experiment in fiat currency the world has ever seen, and the cracks are showing. Inflation isn't a bug, it's a feature that slowly transfers your wealth to those who create money from nothing. Your savings lose value every year, while asset owners get richer. The game is rigged, but not in the way most people think. It's about a system that rewards those who understand the rules while punishing those who don't. While China has been quietly accumulating gold, estimates suggest 20,000 to 30,000 tons, more than the United States officially holds. America has been printing money to fund wars and bailouts. Why does gold matter? Because it's been valuable for 5,000 years. It can't be printed. It can't be devalued by government decree. The wealthy and connected already know what's coming. They've already moved their money. They're positioned to profit from this crisis while regular people get destroyed. So what can you do? First, understand that cash is not safety. You need to own hard assets, things with intrinsic value that can't be printed away. Gold and silver have been money for thousands of years. Buy physical gold and silver that you can hold. Allocate at least 20 to 30% of your investable assets to precious metals. Consider real estate. Land and property are real assets with utility. Buy without too much debt. Look at productive assets, stocks in companies that produce essential goods and services. Energy companies, agricultural companies, mining companies. Consider cryptocurrency as part of a diversified approach. Bitcoin has a fixed supply. 5 to 10% in Bitcoin is a reasonable hedge. Diversify internationally. Open bank accounts in other countries. This isn't about being unpatriotic. This is about survival. Build skills and relationships that have value independent of money. Learn to grow food. Build a network of people you can rely on. Based on current trends, here's what I expect. Over the next 2 to 3 years, continued quiet de-dollarization. Then comes the tipping point, a major move that wakes the general public. The dollar starts declining noticeably. Inflation spikes. Interest rates forced higher. This is when most Americans realize their savings are in danger. Within 5 to 7 years, we enter the new normal. The dollar is no longer the dominant reserve currency. America's standard of living has declined. This timeline could accelerate.
The direction is set. The outcome is inevitable. Calculate your dollar exposure right now. If more than 50% of your wealth is in dollar-denominated assets, you're too concentrated. Start buying gold and silver this month. Don't wait. Reduce your debt, especially variable rate debt. Talk to your family. Get everyone on the same page. The window is closing.
I understand the emotional resistance to what I'm telling you. It's painful to accept that the currency you've trusted your whole life is in decline. But protecting your family's financial future isn't unpatriotic. It's responsible. The politicians who spent recklessly, the central bankers who printed endlessly, the financial elites who rigged the system, they're not going to save you. They're already protected. The warning signs are everywhere. The question isn't whether this is going to happen. The question is whether you're going to be ready when it does. So my question is, are you a player in the psychological game of money or just a pawn? Have you started preparing? What steps are you taking to protect your wealth? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. And subscribe to The Wealth Historian so you never miss the untold histories behind world-changing wealth. Because the most valuable currency isn't money, it's knowledge. Share this video, send it to your friends and family. Hit the notification bell because this is the most important financial story of our lifetime. Stay alert, stay prepared, and whatever you do, don't keep all your eggs in the dollar basket. Until next time, question everything.